Howdy folks, this is Jesse from Team SodaCan, and today we're presenting a match. I am playing HexeblauAzulong and Alex is playing, I believe, 3 Musketeers. So I'm the starting player. We just see me pass turn by giving him 1, playing a Digimon, I believe it's called. But Alex just immediately goes for the Digimon. He's going to reveal 4, or is it 5? He reveals 4, and he grabs the fly bullet. And then everything else is going to go to trash. He gives me 4 to work with. This is a long match. You're going to probably notice a lot of cuts. That's because we had over 30, I think we were at like 32 minutes of footage. So we've cut out just a lot of like stall time. We got interrupted a lot. We recorded this at our locals. Apologies for any glare. So we see the Gomamon there. He goes into Gundramon and he has to use the fly bullet, I believe. And then everything else is going to go to trash. Fly bullet will hit trash after it gets used. It kills Gomamon. I guess that was his best line of play. We'll draw for turn. And what are we gonna do? We have 5 to work with, but we're just not seeing the top end of our deck. We play a Syakomon. Excuse me. There's actually going to be a misplay later on with Syakomon, but it doesn't matter currently because we just evolve straight onto it. He plays down Izzy and Joe. And we are still keeping the Digimon down in the breeding area. We keep it down there for quite a while. Another Kolamon. 1 to evolve blockers are just typically good. We are just, play testing. BT6 is a new format for us. And so we're just trying to figure out how we want things and how we should be running things. So this is Zulon, a HexeblauAzulong list will be changing. But until then, I can just present to you the way that I have it right now. He plays down a Vilemon for turn. And what do we have going on here? And I just play Sora and Joe, and he ends up with an extra 2 because of Izzy and Joe. This is a long, drawn-out match. We're just playing Build-A-Board at the moment. And since Gundramon is a blocker, he sets up the glaive memory boost. And since Gundramon is a blocker, I'm not wanting to swing just yet. Because I'm just going to be losing my stuff for no reason. And he grew off of the glaive, he grabbed Soundbirdmon, or Soundbirdmon. And he is going to Itmon to has to trash it out of his hand first, which is something that he had to remind himself of. So he trashes. What was that he just trashed? Is he playing a Magna Kidmon? He is playing a Magna Kidmon. That's interesting. I haven't seen a lot of lists that actually run Magna Kidmon. But that is besides the point. We're finally promoting the Majiramon. I know exactly why now. We're promoting the Majiramon because we're going to swing with the Wergarurumon, activate the Sora and Joe to trash that Deputymon that's under the Gundramon. And then we'll trigger gain 1 memory and trigger draw 1 because we need to start seeing the top end of our decks. And we are just not doing that right now. So we currently are having 5 to work with. And we just play another Wergarurumon. I believe we run 2 in the deck. But that is... And we're swinging with it. We're going to knock out security, get early damage in while we can. He does, unfortunately. Just have a second glaive memory boost on the field now. And then we play a Siaku to pass turn. He gains his additional 2 at start turn. And then I believe that misplay that I mentioned is coming up here shortly with the Siaku. I'm sure some of y'all are already figuring it out. He is going to swing with Soundbird, activate its effect, trash 1 in hand, and then he confused Siakumon with the Madoki Betamon that just came out in BT6 for blue. That is essentially just Terriermon. But no, Siaku is you cannot reduce your Digivolution costs. We get a Holly memory boost, which is pretty nice for us. But regardless, Siaku is reducing memory cost, Digivolution costs, and you cannot gain memory through non-tamer means. He's going to Fly Bullet our Majiramon, which frankly makes sense because since he has that Soundbird, we could just swing again and gain another memory and gain and trigger a draw. But we just are not seeing our top end is the main issue that we're having in this game. He's seen all the pieces that he needs. He is controlling our board state as well as much as he can. But we just are not seeing what we need to see. So we set up a Grizzlymon, and I think this is where I drew a Hexeblau, and it is. We finally get a level 6. The deck currently runs 6 level 6s, so we trash 1, so that way it can't swing the following turn, but it's 3 Musketeers. He's going to have an out for it through some means. And unfortunately we don't get to gain any advantage off of trashing one of his Digivolution sources because he did take out that Majiramon that had all those effects that we needed. We Holly memory boost and then we take a while to decide, but I think we're just going for a Majiramon in the bottom, in the raising area. And then he has a pretty easy way to deal with the Hexeblau, I believe, here. And that is in the way of Beelsmon. So not only is he going to potentially be able to crash here into Hexeblau, he's also going to be able to pop the Grizzlymon with Beelz's effect, and then he is going to crash, so that way he can swing with all his other stuff. And now I think it's a matter of whether or not he swings with that other stuff. He will swing with the Soundbird, and utilizing that Soundbird effect is going to save him here. He's going to trash Nailbone to gain 1. And then he hits a Hammer Spark, so we'll go back to 0. And I believe I can see that Hitmon in his hand. I believe that is the play that he goes with. And it is. So he's going to pass turn with 3. He's going to trash something out of his hand. Was that a Beelstar that he just trashed? It looked like he had multiple. I believe it is. He's going to grab the Beelsmon because Itmon grabs back any 3 Musketeers or 7 Great Demon Lords. And Beelsmon happens to be a 7 Great Demon Lord. But if somebody was just come look at this game and based off security alone, it would look pretty even, but it is definitely not. We only have 5 to work with, and I say that as if it's not much, but when we're not seeing our top end in the way that we aren't, we unfortunately just cannot do what we need to do. So we go into the Lobomon because the Sora and Joe is putting in work, and we're gonna drop a Gomamon and he ends up with 3, and then potentially 5 if he uses the memory boost here. And that's exactly what he does, because he is going to go straight back into that Beelsmon, go to 1, and get rid of the Lobomon. And then I think he's just going to start swinging and take this first game. He's going to swing with Soundbird first, so that way, just in case he hits into a Hammer Spark, it will not just immediately pass turn. But I think we've seen 3 Hammer Sparks at this point. I know we've seen 2 for sure. The Soundbird does die. I had to remind him of that. Beals goes into it. And that is either the 3rd or 4th Hammer Spark. And then Gomamon and then Vilemon for game 1. We're going on to game 2. I'm choosing to go first. I'm not sure if this deck is wanting to be going first or not, but we're going to just give him 1 once again to pass the turn. Soundbirdmon really put in work for him in the previous game, so hopefully we do not see that in this game 2, but he is just going to immediately go for Itmon to start filling his trash, so that way he can start having 3 Musketeers or 7 cost options for his Beelstar later on in the game. We once again just pass over to him with 1. He plays a Sora and Mimi for turn. And that there was just me double checking on you only gain him only gaining 2 memory as long as I don't control a level 4. We go into the Weregurumon, and then we pass turn with a Siakomon. I have no idea if I'm saying that right. Siakomon? He goes for Deputymon. Again, I apologize for all the cuts that are in this video, but it was just going to be way too long otherwise, and just not what we exactly want. We don't want to be putting out 35-minute long videos. We'll do 25-minute, but not 35. He went for Deputymon. I did not catch what he grabbed off of it, so apologies. We're setting up another blocker. So that way he cannot just start swinging with Impmon or Deputymon. Not that I think he would anyway, but we're going to only give him one. We do have level 4s, so he does not gain that 2 memory. And since we're discouraging him from swinging with Impmon, he will not be able to use Sora and Mimi to get extra draws because his hand is looking kind of empty at this point. And it seems like he is in a position where he is going to be wanting some draws. But he Impmons, gets rid of the Happy Bullet Showering and grabs another Beelsmon. I have 2 to work with here, so we're going to Azulonmon, which would pass over to 3. Reminding him what Azulon does. We gained that 3 memory back. And then Azulon, since he has 3 things without sources, Azulon has +3 security attack and then a +1 from Were Garurumon. But the first thing that we check is the Fly Bullet. It's super unfortunate, but that is just what we had to deal with. We were going to hit into it no matter what. So I figured swinging with the Azulon, we could just possibly go for game. It really sucks, but it's just what we had to deal with. He's going to Beelstar here, putting me to, I believe we actually had gotten the memory confused. Yes, that's exactly what happened. Beelstar was only supposed to cost 9 here. He was set at 3 memory, so I am only supposed to go to 6. He grabs the Happy Bullet Showering, so that way he removes 2 things from my board. So we're only stuck with this Grizzlymon, and it unfortunately... we know he has a Beelsmon in hand, so he has an easy answer to getting rid of it. We Christ Paildramon because we just need draws, and unfortunately we still are not seeing what we need to see. So I know that I have to go and revisit this deck and just work on it extremely. We're going to play a Colamon to pass the turn at 1, so that way we also have a level 4 that Sora and Mimi won't be giving him too much memory. Just not having any rookies. I'm just, you see me here checking the camera. The camera was almost dead at this point. And so I was just wanting to make sure that it was still actually on and recording. But yeah, so we get rid of both his Impmons, so we no longer have to worry about Beels. But he still, has other options that he can do. He's going to Glaive Memory Boost. And not sure what he grabs off of this, but I feel like the best option would be an Impmon, which is exactly what he will do. We're going to restand, or unsuspend, I should say. And took some time. We're going to play Sora and Joe, and then play a Howling Memory Boost. I had actually completely forgotten about Howling Memory Boost's freezing ability. So Alex is reminding me of it, and we're going to choose to put that on a Beelstarmon. So that way he is being forced to either swing with the Deputymon or whatever. But no, I think this was an interesting game. He evolves that Itmon down into his breeding area, which I think is alright for him. Glaive memory boost. And what's he doing? I think he's thinking about going to Gundramon. Yep, he is thinking about going to Gundramon. At some point during this match, Alex had called over our locals judge, who's a good buddy of ours, and asked, because he wasn't 100% sure if Gundramon or if Deputymon could digivolve into any three Musketeers, color not mattering. And we were told yes, because it does just say ignore Digivolution requirements. We're going to gain 4 memory thanks to 2 Sora and Joes, so we have 5 to start the turn with, and potentially an extra 2 with Howling Memory Boost. But I don't think it really is going to matter at this point. We're going to Christ Paildramon, go to 2, get rid of that Deputymon that's under there. And what else do we do? I'm thinking a lot. I'm doing a lot of thinking. This was a really tough match for me. We do Howling Memory Boost, go to 4. Do we see another? And no, we're just passing turn, giving him 1, making sure that we have a level 4. That Omnimon that you see in my hand, I've had that since my opener, and it was the bane of my existence this game because I was just never able to use it. It is a real shame that Azulong could not stick around on the board. Yeah, just a real big shame. But he does Beelzemon, goes and kills the Paildramon. We have, I believe, 7 to work with here. So let's see how efficiently we can use it. And I don't think we can use it that efficiently at all. It looks like we only have 4 cards in hand. And what are we doing? And Alex is starting to see all those cards that he needs. What am I throwing down? What are we throwing down here? Boy, I'm really taking my time with this. Why did I not cut this out? Well, it's staying in now. We throw down a Majiramon and just pass turn. That's unfortunately the best thing that we could have done. He's going to gain 2 off of Sora and Mimi. And it's unfortunate, but I think this is where it starts to come down to and starts to realize he has it. He's going to take out the rest of our security here, I believe. So swinging with the Beelzemon, he's going to trigger that draw 1. Well, draw 1, trash 1. I think this was me reminding him, drawing and trashing. And he trashes a Nailbone. We see a Gamamon go. He's going to replenish his hand with that Tsunamon. He thought a lot about it for whatever reason. Actually, I think this is when we got an interruption because obviously we were filming in a public space. But that is besides the point. He is about to come in closer for the finisher. And there goes an Omnimon. We see the Beelstar die. And there's another Hex. So unfortunately he loses on the Gundramon. but he's just going to play another Beelstar for turn. And then, yeah. He is setting us to an empty board. And so on and so forth. We're at 0. And I think I'm just going to Hammer Spark. And we're actually supposed to be at 9. So we're going to put him to 6 and just hard play that Omnimon that's been in hand, because I know I'm losing at this point. I'm showing him what I had in my hand. I drew that HexeblauAzulong for turn. We're going to let him swing and get his finisher in. Thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you next time.